Hello fellow captains and welcome to the channel. My name is Phoenix and today we are going to be doing a phaser budget type DPS build. I'm very hesitant to say DPS, but if you are new to the game, this is going to be helpful for you, I think. Once you reach level 50 and you can start doing some of the reputation stuff and you got going, these are some things that for you to work on that you can, these are easily obtainable and achieved within the game. I do have a couple of fleet items here, only 3, so it's not that big, and only 2 reputation things, which again, they are all obtainable. Nothing that is completely out of reach or a major grind fest. But if you were looking for a budget type build that you can do, decent DPS around 20 to 25k, this is the build that you're going to want to watch. I will also post a link in the description below if you want to check out this build instead of watching this video over and over again. I will have a link to Stowe Academy of my build. So without further ado, let's get into this budget build. Just quickly going over what we are using for this build. So for the ship, we are using the Advanced Escort, as I said previously. And so what comes with is a Commander Tactical, a Lieutenant Commander Tactical, a Lieutenant Engineering, a Lieutenant Science, and an Ensign Science. For consoles, we have 2 Engineering, 4 Tactical, and 3 Science. For weapons, we have a 4 and 3 Aft, base hull of 31,000, shield modifier of 0.9, base turn rate of 16, 2 device slots, and on top of that we get plus 15 power to weapons, the experimental weapon slot, and can equip dual cannons. Okay, so as we see here, this is my current loadout. Now, normally I say this is work in progress, but this is the best I could do to eliminate a lot of sort of more advanced stuff here, with the exception of the 2 dual heavy cannons up front, which they are the advanced fleet phaser dual heavy cannons, which are at Mark 15 with the critical damage and damage times 3 proc. So those are probably going to be the only exceptions to this build. I mean, you could also craft like a wide angle phaser array or dual heavy cannon, but I didn't have the time to do that. But anyways, so with that, we also have the quantum phase dual heavy cannons with the critical damage and critical hit proc and the proc. We have the quantum phase torpedo with the critical damage and critical hit and the proc modifiers there. For the aft weapons, we have the quantum phase beam array with the same procs. We have the Tirlithium-Enhanced phaser turret with the critical hit times 3. And we have the Trilithium-Enhanced omnidirectional phaser beam array with the accuracy, arc, and damage modifiers. So for the quantum phase, what we have, we want more details. There we go. All right, so because we have at least 3 pieces here, we're going to get the 3-piece bonus set. So if you only had 2, you get plus 15 to accuracy rating and doubles the potency of quantum phase weapon shield drain, doubles potency of quantum phase high yield torpedo shield heal. Then with the 3-piece, you get targets foes, 135-degree targeting arc, 10-kilometer range, maximum 10. I don't know what that means, whether that's 10 foes. There is a 2-minute recharge, but it will do 3,206.5 phaser damage per second for 10 seconds, minus 2.7 all power subsystems per second for 10 seconds, and 2.7 all power subsystems per second for 10 seconds. So the foes get minus 2.7, so that would be 20.7 seconds or power. And that converts back to you. So there's that. For the deflector impulse and shields is the soul defense set, and we can look at that. Now it is the 3-piece set here, so if you only had 2, you get plus 35 kinetic damage resistance rating and plus 25 energy damage resistance rating. You get for the 3-piece, you get discharge repair nanites, which affects friends and self, 5 max, 10 kilometer sphere, 2-minute recharge, plus 15,077 hit points to allied ships within 10 kilometer radius, maximum 5 targets. Affected ships restore plus 4,568.8 hit points to allied ships and fighters in 3 kilometer radius. For Warp Core, I have, now this is another exception, I have the Elite Fleet Plasma Integrated Warp Core with the AMP, EFF, SSR, weapons to engines, and the weapons cap modifiers on that. I also have the experimental hyper-excited ion stream projector, which this ship would normally come with when you get it. For devices, the subspace field modulation and 2 shield batteries. I have the quantum phase converter, which is also included with the quantum phase set. Now, the only problem with the quantum phase converter is there's no 4-piece set, which is a little odd considering that if you have all 4, that you would get an extra thing, but unfortunately you don't. I also have the reinforced armament, which you can get with the Trilithium-Enhanced weaponry as well. So that gives us plus 33.3 power transfer rate, 20 starship hull restoration, and hull capacity as well. And that gives us for the 2-piece and 3-piece set, we get speed tweaks plus 5% firing cycle haste for energy weapons, plus 15 flight speed. And for all 3, you get plus 20 to all damage resistance rating, plus 20 starship hull capacity. For science consoles, I have the assimilated module, which comes from the Omega reputation, the 0-point energy conduit, which comes from the Romulan reputation, and then I have the Temporal Disentanglement suite. That will give us plus 4 auxiliary power settings, 20% maximum shield capacity, plus 0 to 2.5% critical chance based on the auxiliary power level, and 0 to 10% critical severity based on auxiliary power level, and 3% shield resistance. Now, and then for tactical consoles, I have 3 phaser relays at Mark 12, and then I have 1 at Mark 14. So this is my skills. Obviously, a lot of really heavy in the tactical, a little bit of science, and more engineering for sort of survivability in that case. For specializations, I have pilot and strategist. For my personal space traits, I have cannon training, last ditch effort, operative, innocuous, nanite repair matrix, which is from story mission. Again, this will be in the description below as to where you can get it. So what this does is when hull drops below 50%, plus 8,695.6 hit points, may trigger once every 90 seconds. And obviously the skills that affect this ability are starship hull repair. I have the kinetic precision, which gives me plus 10% projectile penetration. This is the R&D, so once you reach level 15 in projectiles, you'll get this. I have point blank shot, which does enhance specific powers, currently enhancing dual heavy phaser cannons, all that. And it does 0 to 10% bonus energy weapon damage based on distance to target. Maximum bonus when at less than 2 kilometers, no effect beyond 6 kilometers. So you gotta be really in close for this to work. Then we have accurate, and we have directed or redirected armor plating when hit from behind or your sides, plus 30 all damage resistance rating for 5 seconds. So for starship traits, unlike my tank build, I got rid of all my starship traits, and I'm only putting in ones that are obtainable. So the best defense is one that you can get through a story mission, and what it does is to self plus 25% hull healing when you activate any attack pattern Omega 1, attack pattern Beta 2 or 1 as well. So either one of those will give you this starship trait. And I have Pedal to the Metal because of the pilot, which gives me plus 1% all damage bonus per 2 seconds spent at full throttle, up to 10% max, all bonus immediately lost if your throttle is dropped. Then we have, for space reputation, we have the Chrono Capacitor Ray, which gives me plus 7.5% bridge officer ability recharge speed. I have the Auxiliary Power Configuration Offense, so this will give me plus 4.2% bonus all damage and accuracy rating based on my auxiliary power level. I have Precision, plus 4% critical chance. And then I have Advanced Targeting System, which gives me plus 16% critical severity. For active reputation, I have Quantum Singularity Manipulation, Deploy Sensor Interference Platform, Biomolecular Shield Generator, and Anti-Time Entanglement Singularity. This is my Bridge Officer setup. Now, I went with just single target abilities for tactical, and the reason for that is when you do AoE attacks, generally you're going to get a lot of aggro and you're just going to get obliterated. With this, you focus on one enemy and you can generally take them out fairly quick, I would say. So what I got going here for my Commander Tactical is Chemo-Laced Weaponry 1, Attack Pattern Beta 1, Attack Pattern Omega 1, and Cannon Rapid Fire 3. For my Lieutenant Commander Tactical, I have Tactical Team 1, Torpedo High Yield 2, and Beam Overload 3. For my Engineering Lieutenant, I have Emergency Power Weapons 1 and Directed Energy Modulation 1. For my Lieutenant Science, I have Science Team 1, Hazard Emitters 2, and then for my Ensign Science, I have Tachyon Beam 1. Alright. Here we go. And yes, I had a bit of a late start, and that's kind of done by default. Want to try and kill as many things as possible, but not taking so much aggro. There we go. Now, I don't know if I had help with that board cube, but that's okay if I did. Lost my cursor. Whoa. Need full throttle for all that damage. That's kind of the drawback with this, because normally I would just kind of sit there and just pummel on it. Oh. Alright, let's just get the sensor platform out there just so that takes some heat off of me. As you see here, once you get going here, you can just focus on an enemy and just take him out. Now, when I did this earlier, just testing, I did about 22k. So, I mean, it's not bad. It's a decent amount of damage. It's not, yes, it's not the greatest, but at least you're somewhat helpful, and you're not at the bottom. Oh crap. I hate this. Ugh. There we go. Oh crap. That's kind of the other problem, is getting across without hitting that stupid gateway. Come on, there we go. Okay. So we got a full science build here that's just using gravity well to its advantage, which is good because it's helping me focus on focus on killing. Oh, oh, how did you get there so fast? Oh well, we're not here to do, you know, get everything perfect. We're just here to test out the build, see how well it does. And so far, I'm doing pretty decent. Might have aggroed a little bit, but that's okay. Nothing that I'm really panicking over, which is nice, because normally when I'm in something like this and I have AoE attacks, I get totally wrecked and hammered, just because quite literally I'm a glass cannon. In this case, I'm not so much of a glass cannon, but I'm doing a decent amount of damage and I am surviving, and that's the important thing. Probably shouldn't have popped that, but that's okay. Get some shields going here, and let's start attacking. And also, binding my keys so that I'm redistributing my shields is also somewhat helpful too, because I don't have to worry so much about my shields. Alright. Let's aggro him now. See, we're doing pretty good here.
You will lower your shields and prepare to be boarded.
I don't think so. Alright, yeah, let's get the anti-time entanglement thing going here, just for the extra bit of damage. And we're going to boost our weapons power even more. I don't know if we can do that. Yeah, we're doing pretty good. Doing some decent numbers here. Focused on one side. Normally I just park, but because of the one thing there, we need to be moving, so. Alright. There we go. Not bad. We did pretty good here. Nothing really that we had to worry about in terms of being wiped out. So I'll call that a good run. Okay, as you can see here, I did about 20.5K. This is the run that you guys watched me do. So obviously there are rooms for improvement, but because this is just a budget build, if you can do at least 20K in ISA, you're probably decent enough not to worry about anything else. Now this is the one I did previously, just to give it a test run, and as you can see here, I did almost 23K here. So That's not too bad. Like I said, this is just a budget build. This is not a huge, like, 50K or 100K build. This is just, a build that if you're new to the game, you're at level 50, you can do somewhat decent damage by having these items. Just for reference, when I said I was just going for single enemy attacks, this is the AoE type. I just broke 20K, but as you can see here, I at least died twice, which is not particularly good for DPSing. So that's why I chose to go with just single enemy focus instead of an AoE attack. But you can easily do 20K on both, and that is, I think, decent. Well, that is going to conclude today's video, and as always, I love to hear from you. What do you think about this budget build? Do you think there's other things that I could have included with this phaser build, or is there something else that I may have missed? Whatever. Let me know your answers in any comments you have down in the comment section below. And as always, thank you for watching. Live long and prosper, and I'll see you out there.